Hey there, beautiful. I am Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual teacher with flair. And the flair is basically I'm a business coach, I'm a life and health coach, and basically a spiritual mentor. And I help Mosaic Souls like you create divine lives and businesses that allow them to be their most authentic, creative, and healthy selves. So basically, I love helping Mosaic Souls. And a Mosaic Soul is basically a person who understands that they are a soul having a human experience. So it's a human being who knows that they're not just a human, but actually that they're actually a soul first, a spirit being having this human experience. And so in this training, I'm going to share with you how the universe actually works and how to greater align with it for ease of experiences and manifestations. So I'm super excited to share this training with you because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and that my soul has given me so much clarity on that has just blown my life out of the water. Like anything that I had struggled with before is just, I completely don't have any problems anymore, and any quote unquote obstacles or challenges that come up, I just see them completely in a different light, in a manner, and my life just feels so easy and is filled with so much joy on a day-to-day basis because I know who I truly am and I know how the universe actually works. And so I want you to have that same experience that I'm having in my life right now. And that's why I created this training for you today. So I want to share with you, first of all, before we dive into this training, what you will learn. So you're going to learn the one-step manifestation process that brings so much freaking clarity and eliminates the most common misperceptions about the law of attraction. You're going to learn also the role of action. What is the role of action and how that plays out in our daily lives? You're also going to learn how to create your reality, how you actually create your reality, and how to easily manifest your desires with greater and greater ease, how to experience more of your preferred reality in your daily life and business. You're also going to learn how to bust through repetitive negative thoughts and emotions to experience more of what you desire, and you're going to learn so much more. So I just want to give you just kind of brief overview of what this training is going to be about and how you can use this to more easily create the life that you desire. So let's dive in. One of the first things I want you to understand is that we live in a vibrational universe, and that everything that we see, touch, feel, and hear is a vibration. So you probably come up against this desire to truly manifest what your heart desires, but you might have been doing it quite counterintuitively to how the universe actually works. You see, the energy of hard work and lots of effort might not be paying off for you. Maybe because you just might be metaphorically pushing a large boulder up a hill only to see it roll back down. And I'm just here to tell you that there's an easier way. There's such an easier way. So now let's talk about how the universe actually works and how your thoughts and your emotions and your focus and your beliefs actually play a role in how you experience your day-to-day life. A lot of times we lead lives and we're not even aware that these things are actually going on. So I want to help you gain more clarity on what I mean by vibrational universe. Okay, so when I'm talking about a vibrational universe, everything that is vibrational, it includes your thoughts, your desires, your beliefs, which is also known as what you basically generally expect to happen and what you focus on in your life and or business. So if you have general expectations towards life or a general overall focus that you're always focusing on, whatever you focus on, it always expands, right? So those are is known as your beliefs. And then also your actions, and then lastly, your emotions. So these are the key pieces that are what I consider vibrational. So as it pertains to your personal human experience, your thoughts, your desires, your beliefs, your focus, expectations, and your actions and your emotions. These are all vibration. Everything that we are experiencing is a vibrational universe. And another piece that I want to share with you is that the universe is also a mirror of these things. So the universe is a mirror of your thoughts, of your desires, of your beliefs, really predominantly your beliefs, of your actions and your emotions. So everything that is vibrational in the universe includes these things. So anytime you're thinking, anytime you're feeling something, anytime you have a desire, anytime you're focusing or expecting certain things to happen, these are all vibrational. And that's how we are moving into, like, that's how we're interacting with the universe on a day-to-day basis. So, when you have a desire or a thought, that reality exists in a vibrational form, aka what is also known as a parallel reality. So, think about this. Anytime you have a desire, anytime you have a thought, it already exists in a vibrational form. So, because we are living in a vibrational reality, and because we are vibrational beings, even though we're human and we're very dense and it feels like we're just physical and we're only like blocky, actually everything is always a vibration, right? So that includes your thoughts and your desires. And so when you have a thought and when you have a desire, it actually already exists in a vibrational reality. It already exists in a vibrational form. If it didn't, you wouldn't even experience it. So I just want to give you that clarity that when you have a desire or a thought, you wouldn't even experience it if it didn't already exist in some way, form, or fashion. So my understanding and belief is that everything that has ever been created and will ever be created already exists in the universe. Think about that. Everything that will has ever been created and that will ever be created it's already exists in the universe. So when you experience a desire, it is simply a vibrational reality that is coming into your human vision as a possible reality to be experienced. So in a nutshell, your desires already exist in a vibrational reality. And I just really want to hit that home because I don't want you to be confused as we move forward in this training, to understand that when you have a desire, it already exists. Even when you have thoughts that are unwanted and not and wanted, those already exist in your reality, in a reality. And so I'm going to talk about how you actually bring those into your physical human experience in a bit, coming up. So what brings that vibrational reality into your physical experience is your beliefs, which are your expectations and your focus, your predominant believed thoughts. So not just thoughts. Thoughts can occur all the time. They are like a bubble machine. So I just want to clarify that. A lot of times we think that, oh God, I had a horrible thought. Oh God, it's going to manifest. No, thoughts only manifest. Thoughts only come into your physical experience when you believe them and when you give them your attention and your focus. And also when you juice them up with your predominant emotions. So these are what your beliefs are. So it's your expectations, your focus, your predominant believed thoughts, and your predominant emotions. That is what brings a vibrational reality into your physical human experience. This is really crucial because a lot of times people think, oh no, I'm doing a process wrong, or I visualized it wrong, or I had this negative thought, or da 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 da. None of that matters, okay? None of that matters if you understand that it's usually because of your predominant believed thoughts and your predominant emotions and your expectations and your focus. That is what brings a vibrational reality into your physical human experience. I hope that you get that because it's so crucial to understand this piece. A lot of times we don't understand that that's what's happening. So thoughts, they happen all the time. Emotions, they happen all the time, right? But until you understand that it's what you're consistently with repetition experiencing internally in your inner world, that's actually what brings a vibrational reality into your physical human experience. So that is akin to your ability to allow it into your physical experience. Now, you may have heard the term allow. You must allow more things into your experience. And what that means is that you are basically in vibrational alignment with what you desire. So when you are in alignment with your desire, you are essentially a vibrational match. You're a vibrational match, meaning your emotions and your thoughts and what you're feeling and what you're believing, your expectations and focus is in alignment with the reality that you desire to experience. So when you're in alignment with your desire, you are essentially a vibrational match to that parallel reality through your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, and vice versa for what you don't want. So a lot of times when we're experiencing life and when we're experiencing our day-to-day human lives, what we have a tendency to do is be in alignment with what we don't want, because we have expectations and we have focus on the things that we don't want in our lives. Now, a negative thought can pop up here and there, but it doesn't have to take you down. And we'll talk about that in a little bit later. But I just want you to understand that simple principle that alignment is really key here when you're a vibrational match. And I just broke that down. Okay, so moving on. So manifestation, here's the big kicker that most of us totally trip over, that manifestation is literally a one-step process. We think that we have to do all the processes and all these things in order to manifest. Oh, you got to visualize. You got to sit down and do these things. You got to make sure you write out a vision board. You got to do this and this and that. You got to make sure that, you write down your things over and over and over. Now, those are totally fine, and they're totally just vibrational aids to help us get better in alignment, and I'll talk about that more soon. But in general, I want you to understand that manifestation really, it's only a one-step process. It's not these bajillion different things that we think that we have to do. So what is that one-step process? Basically, here's how it arises. A desire or thought arises, and you allow it into your experience through being in vibrational resonance with it. That's the process, okay? I really want to break that down. It's so simple. It's so simple. It's nothing else that is happening, okay? This goes back to what we kind of talked about, is how do you experience your reality is that you're experiencing through your beliefs, your predominant thoughts, emotions, expectations, focus, and your belief thoughts, right? So this is the manifestation process. It's a one-step process. A desire or a predominant thought arises, and you either allow it into your experience. This includes unwanted experiences and wanted experiences. So this totally blew me out of the water when I really truly got this, because when you understand this, you understand that it's not a whole bunch of actions. You know what I mean? Actions are only a small part of the puzzle. And when you understand this, you understand that you are in 100% control of your reality. Like, you have to take 100% responsibility for your life and your business results, because you are creating it moment by moment by moment. And when you understand this, you become super powerful. You almost feel invincible, because you're like, oh, yeah, I see how I'm actually manifesting it. You take responsibility for the crap that you've manifested, and you take responsibility for the beautiful things you've manifested. But when you understand this kind of eliminates all those extra processes that you think you have to do in order to manifest what you desire. And we're going to talk about that more in depth. So I just want to reiterate that a manifestation is literally a one-step process. And that process is a desire and or a predominant thought arises, and you allow it into your experience by being a vibrational resonance with it. Okay. So allowing is simply on a human level resonating so deeply emotionally with that desired reality that it automatically becomes your reality internally and therefore externally. Okay? Allowing is also simply being in resonance, alignment with your assured well-being as a soul having a human experience. So I want to break down that first part first, because a lot of times we think that, oh no, a lot of times, actually, what happens is we have a tendency to focus in totally on allowing what we don't want into our lives, because we resonate so deeply on an emotional level and in our predominant expectations and focus that we constantly allow more of what we don't want. So one of the things that I love, that another spiritual teacher talked about once, is becoming kind of like a vibrational snob in a sense. You become so keenly and acutely aware of how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and what you're believing and focusing on a day-to-day, moment by moment basis, that you're in aware your awareness of what you're allowing into your experience is so much more keen. And so this is really crucial, because you can allow a lot of experiences that you don't want, or you can allow a lot of experiences that you do want. And how you do that is through your thoughts, your emotions, and your predominant beliefs, focus, and expectations. So allowing is also simply being in resonance and alignment with your assured well-being as a soul having an human experience. So if you're a Mosaic soul and you understand, this is one of the things that you have to make a shift and a belief, and I invite you do this through time. You are where you are, as I always say, flow with what resonates and let go of what doesn't. But wherever you are in your life, and if anything that I'm saying up until this point is resonating with you, you're understanding that you're a soul having a human experience. But that understanding has to become a knowing. And the way that it becomes a knowing is just cultivating more and more of your awareness of your internal world, of how you're feeling, of how you're thinking, of what you're focusing on. And so when you understand that you're a soul having a human experience, you're one of the key things of knowing that is that of living and being that is that your well-being is always assured as a human. In your divine human experience, your well-being is always assured, because your soul is abundance. It's always aware of the abundance around you. It's not, and I'll talk about this in a bit, lack doesn't exist. So your soul always knows that. And so this is a key piece to understand, because when you start to allow more of what you desire into your reality through your thoughts and emotions, and becoming deeply emotionally resonant internally, then externally it has to be your reality. And that's why I talked about in the beginning that the universe is actually always mirroring back to you what your internal world is. So your external world is always a direct reflection of your internal world. And this is where that 100% responsibility for your life and your business results always comes in. So the part that us humans have a hard time with is believing, expecting, and focusing in the vibrational reality of their preference, because we have been trained and conditioned in a scarcity consciousness on our planet. Everywhere you see lack and scarcity, it's being reinforced in your beliefs. So the ads, the marketing, the TV shows, the music, the movies, the conversations you have, the grocery store, etc. Everywhere it's being reinforced. So this is the part that we as humans really struggle with, that scarcity consciousness on our planet. For some reason, we are now shifting into a more abundance-based consciousness, which is our true divine nature is abundance. But for some reason on our planet right now, in the human world, we've all been conditioned in the scarcity and lack-based consciousness. And this is the part that us humans, it's really hard for us to understand. So this is really a joke, because we live in a universe of abundance, right? There's no such thing as lack, as you heard me say before. The only way that we experience lack is our belief in it. Okay? But even this is never really lack per se. It's only an abundance of what we don't want. So I want you to kind of flip that on its head. When you think about lack, it's not really lack. It's only you continually experiencing an abundance of what you don't want. So an example is, let's say that one of the biggest things that most people have issues with, let's say like relationships, for example. A lot of women or men will say they're not enough good women out there, or not a good enough men out there, right? And what happens is, when you have that belief and that becomes your predominant thought, and you emotionally resonate with that belief system, then you're experiencing more of that. But technically what is happening is that's what you don't want. But because you keep focusing and you're expecting that to be a reality, you keep allowing that to be your reality. So you're experiencing an abundance of lack of good women, lack of good men out there, lack of love relationships and stuff like that. You keep experiencing that because that is what you expect and what you focus on, right? So, therefore, I want you to understand, if we have the power to experience and allow an abundance of what we do not want, then we also, as vibrational beings and creators, have the power to allow and experience an abundance of that which we do want. Now, this is super crucial. This is super huge. It's like when you understand that you have the ability to allow what you don't want, which is an abundance of what you don't want, you also can flip the switch and be like, well, I don't want to allow that. I'm going to believe, like, let's take that relationship example, that there is more than enough beautiful men out there for me, or there's more than enough beautiful women out there. Whatever the situation is, right? You start to realize your power. So this brings me to the piece about action, because the action piece kind of tripped me up for a while. And, you know, it was a really tricky thing for me to understand for a long time. But now, because my soul has been taking me through this process and stuff, I grasp it in such a complete and a whole way. So I'm going to talk about the piece about action, okay? Actually, let me back up. What I want to talk about to jive on this part of us being humans and the piece is, so when we experience this lack and the scarcity based consciousness, which actually shows up as negative thoughts, repetitive negative thoughts, and repetitive negative emotions, right? Or basically, I don't believe in negative. I've talked about this in a previous video on my YouTube channel about how negative emotions can actually help us manifest more of what we do desire. So in general, one of the easiest ways to let go of negative repetitive emotions and I'll just say unwanted emotions and unwanted thoughts is to not give it any juice, right? So this is a piece that we most of the time we struggle with, right? Because scarcity consciousness is always around us. People are always talking about, oh, be careful, that neighborhood might not be safe, or oh, you might not want to do this because da da da, right? We're always being conditioned in this scarcity fear-based consciousness, right? Which is counterintuitive to what we really want and how our soul really exists, right? So like I said, lack doesn't exist, only abundance. So you can either have an abundance of what you do want, or you can have an abundance of what you don't want. You choose now that you are aware of that. So the easiest way to let go of repetitive negative thoughts and emotions, and there are a few different ways, but the easiest way is to become aware of it and let it play out. You can let it play out, but not give it juice, right? So notice that when I said your beliefs are believed thoughts, right? This is the piece that a lot of times we don't really understand, or we don't even see happening, like, and we automatically experience a thought, and so we automatically believe it. But when you're an awakened being, when you're a spiritual being, and you understand that you're a soul having a human experience, and you know it, you understand that thoughts are not they're not, as one of my friends says, they're not self-employed. Basically, a thought can't do its harm, or a thought can't bring in more of what you don't want unless you give it attention and focus. So you have the power to not give a thought, or even your emotions. I know this is a really tricky one, but when I had this experience for myself, I realized how powerful I really am. An emotion or a thought, an emotion really only happens after you've believed a thought, right? So when it's gotten to the emotional stage, you're believing, you're totally buying into that thought. You're totally giving that thought a job. And that job is to bring in more of what you don't want, right? So when you understand that thoughts and emotions are not powerful unless you give them power through your focus and your attention, then you can just allow a thought to appear and be like, oh, well, yeah, thanks, thought. And I do this all the time. I always fire my thoughts. I always be like, oh, thanks for letting me know that, even especially more when I'm having a thought and there's a part of me that's trying to believe or attach to it. Like when you're trying to attach an identity to the thought, then one of the easiest ways is just allow the thought and just be aware of it and be like, oh, okay. Now, those negative, repetitive thoughts and emotions, be like, wow, you're like really going in. Okay, I see you. Okay, I'm not going to give you a job right now, but I'm not going to give you any focus or any attention right now, but I see you. You know, easy. That's just one of the easiest ways. Another easy way to let go of negative thoughts and emotions and repetitive emotions is to meditate. And meditation is simply just becoming aware of the present moment, becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of your breath. A simple, easy meditation is to simply breathe in, hold it for 2 seconds, and breathe out. So you're experiencing a negative emotion, you're experiencing a negative thought, you're experiencing a negative thing that keeps repeating over and over. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, well, okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Another thing that is helpful is this kind of coaching question that I do with clients, but that I do with myself as well, is who would I have to be or what would I have to believe about my life in order for that thought or emotion to be true? I love that one. And I shared that in that video before too. Who would I have to be or what would I have to believe about my life and or business or whatever, about relationships or whatever the thought is about? What would I have to believe in my life for that to be true, right? And let's say take the example about, let's do another example about money. This is a huge one for everyone. It was such a huge one for me. And I'm so freed from that. Let's say that you think, well, I can only make money through a job, right? Right? I need to get a job. I need to get a job. I need to get a job. Or, oh, dang, I'm not going to be able to make enough money in my business, or I won't have enough clients, or I won't, whatever the thought is, right? To believe that thought, I would have to believe that one, money only comes through my business. Talk about myopic. Talk about totally narrow focused, narrow minded, right? Um, I would have to believe that. I would have to believe that I don't live in an abundant universe. I would have to believe that I'm a little person with a little victim and I'm at effect, and that I don't have the power of the universe that creates worlds and that beats my heart and that makes sure that I breathe every day without me even having to think about it. I would have to believe that that doesn't exist. That power, that intelligence that makes the world go round, it doesn't exist through me, right? I would have to believe that I'm a victim and that I'm not a powerful being. I would have to believe that I'm not a soul having a human experience, right? So when you start to see the things that you would have to believe, you're like, oh, that thought's stupid. Okay, I can let it go. Or that emotion's stupid. And it helps you to shift. So those are like 3 ways that can help you to let go of the emotion easier. Sometimes other actions or other vibrational tools can help you through the power of action. Yoga, taking a walk, watching a funny video, listening to some upbeat music, whatever. There's so many different ways that you can do to like shift your emotions and shift your thoughts. But those are just a few things to help you get out of that repetitive negative emotion and become more aware of your thoughts, okay? So I just wanted to go over that so you can have some tools in your toolbox anytime you feel like you're experiencing a negative thought attack or an unwanted emotions that keep reoccurring. And one of the things that I want to share with you in regards to shifting and in regards to experiencing more of what you do desire. Now, let's say you had a complete breakthrough in your life, right? One of the easiest ways to allow that breakthrough to become permanent into your life is to continually operate in the version of yourself that is in resonance with who you desire to be, right? So how you do that is anytime, let's say a negative thought or a negative emotion comes up that you like, oh, dang, I thought I just got over that. Like I had such a breakthrough. I went to that conference or I had a great coaching session, or like me and my girlfriend, we had this great breakthrough, and it keeps coming back like 2 weeks later or like 3 months later, it reappears, right? what we have a tendency to do is like, oh God, I'm horrible, man, I gotta go learn more about my subconscious programming. I gotta work on myself some more. I gotta do some more personal development. Now, if you feel inspired to do that, hey, by all means, go do that. But a lot of times what we don't realize is that, like I said, thoughts have no power unless you give them power. Emotions have no power unless you give them power. Okay? So, what you do when a negative thought or a negative emotion arises from your past that you've even broken through is you do the same things that I shared before. You stand firmly in the knowing of your well-being is already always assured because your soul having a human experience. You're a divine being having a human experience. If you need to use any physical actions or physical vibrational aids or tools to help you shift to your preferred reality, then do it. There's no wrong or right way to make yourself feel better. But the main thing is to just stand firm. Or, and the easiest way is to allow that thought to be there and to not identify with it, not give it any power, not give it any focus, not give it any attention. And another thing is to just simply do whatever you want to do to make yourself feel better and then revisit the thought and like, is it true? Right? Is that thought true? What would I have to believe in order for it to be true? What's even more equally powerful and in resonance with what I desire thought, right? So those are the things that you can do to shift more permanently into the reality that you desire, okay? So now let's talk about action, okay? Let's talk about action. So we've been taught that action leads to outcomes and desired end results. And this is only like 15% true. Literally, it's probably like 5%, if not like 1% true, okay? This is not true at all, really. Since you know that we experience in our physical reality what we are resonant with in our inner reality, then action only plays a small part in the actual one-step manifestation process, okay? So, action is what we as humans have come here to experience and enjoy, and it is a piece of the physical reality that makes the earth a playground, right? So, we've come here to get into things and to get our hands dirty and have fun. Now, the problem happens when we believe that only through action can we experience what we desire, right? Now, I already shared with you how we actually experience our reality, how the universe actually works, right? But we've been taught that you have to take a whole bunch of action in order to experience what you desire. Now, because action is a vibrational aid to being basically what you desire, being what you desire, it is a useful tool. But let's be clear here. Your outer reality or your outer world is always a direct mirror, a direct reflection of your inner world. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your predominant thoughts, believed thoughts, your predominant actions, your predominant emotions, right? And your focus and your expectations. So all that inner world stuff, right? So how much action does one need to take? This is a big thing that most of us kind of get tripped over, right? How much action do I need to take in order to manifest what I desire? Like what steps and processes do I need to take in order to manifest what I desire, right? Now, the answer to this is it depends on where you are vibrationally, okay? This really depends. Now, you know that action isn't the thing that is bringing about what you desire. What's actually bringing about what you desire is your beliefs, your predominant thoughts, your predominant emotions, your predominant focus, and expectations, right? So, how much action does one need to take in order to manifest what you desire? It depends on where you are vibrationally, right? And here's what I mean by that. Are you in direct alignment with and resonance with what you desire or prefer so greatly, right, that you feel it's already here? And here's what I mean. Let's go back to that partner example. Let's say that you have a desire to manifest a life partner, right? Now, to be in resonance with my partner is already here. Like you already experience, you feel what it feels like to have a partner, right? That lights you up. Like you guys have fun, you guys go out, you guys have the greatest conversations, guys have the greatest sex. Like you guys just really enjoy each other and really do all the things that you imagine and you feel it. It feels resonance with you. Like you feel it. It tastes so good. Like if it gets you excited just thinking about it, right? If so, then action is quite literally only there for you to enjoy the process of being a human, right? So any action that you take at that point, if you're in vibrational alignment with what you desire, it's just there to have like you're just here to have fun. Like it doesn't matter what you do on a physical level. It doesn't matter what actions you take. Because you're in vibrational resonance with that reality of like experiencing a partner, it has no choice but to manifest. So you might feel inspired to go to the coffee shop or like just to go to the grocery store and get some groceries, and what do you know, you meet Mr. Right or you meet Mrs. Right or whatever, and it happens that easily. You end up meeting the right person because you're such in vibrational resonance and vibrational alignment. Like you're such a match to what you desire because you feel it. It already feels real for you, that it has no choice but to come into your reality, because we live in a universe that directly mirrors our inner world, right? Now, if not, then the action that is used in one of two ways, okay? So if you aren't in vibrational resonance, if you aren't in vibrational alignment with your desired or your preferred reality, then here's the way that action is usually used. And I suggest that you use it in the second way. But let me just share with you those two ways. The first way is the way that we've all been taught to use action, is you use action as a way to overcompensate for being out of internal alignment with what you desire, with what one desires, okay? So a lot of times we think, okay, well, I need to go on a dating site. I need to, get my hair done. I need to get my nails done and make sure, I'm looking good. I need to make sure, let me see if I can, and we'll come up with all these, 1-2 step processes. But because we're so out of vibrational resonance with what we desire, like it doesn't feel like it's real for us already right now. And my spirit shared with me is the power of pretending, like when you think about little kids, they pretend all the time. One of the easiest ways to get yourself into vibrational alignment, this is one of those other vibrational aids, is to pretend that it's already here. Like when you're a little kid and you're like, out, I'm fighting dragons, or, I'm playing with my magical creatures in the forest. Like it feels real to you as a little kid. And that is the power of imagination. That is the power of pretending that what you want already exists. Now, when you're acting and you start to feel emotional resonance, you're literally conditioning your internal world to believe that that already exists. And so your subconscious mind, your beliefs and your thoughts, like it goes to work for you to bring about that reality because you're in vibrational alignment with you. Now, what we have a tendency to do is take a whole bunch of action, like I said, to overcompensate by not having that internal alignment. Now, let's make no mistake here, that action, that having vibrational alignment, having internal alignment is a form of action. That's the greatest action that you can have, because out of that internal alignment, you'll have inspired ideas and a piece, and I'll talk about inspired action in a little bit later, but you'll have inspired ideas which will lead you down the path of greater ease and more easily and help you to easily manifest more of what you do desire. Now, the second way that you can use action when you're not in vibrational alignment with what you desire is you can use it as a tool to get you back into vibrational resonance with what you desire. Okay, this is the way that I suggest you use action. Okay, this doesn't mean to use action willy-nilly. Like you don't, anytime you're in the sense of trying to make something happen, anytime you're in a state of trying to make something happen, this means that you are out of alignment with what you desire, because there's a part of you that doesn't believe that it's already here. If it's already here for you, like let's say that you already have a partner, or let's say that you already have $1 million in the bank. How would you act in the world? How would you lead your life? You would lead your life in the way that you would want to, right? It's already real for you. Now, if you're not there, then you want to use action as a way to get you back there. So do things that make you feel good. I know this seems like this is one of the things that it made such a huge shift for me personally, because when I understood this, I started to say, oh, anytime I'm feeling crappy, or anytime there's a repetitive thought that I don't want, or a repetitive emotion that's coming up that I don't want, what I'll do is I'll use action instead of doing things to try to make something happen, to try to make my desired outcome happen, to try to create my reality. Um, Instead of trying to do a whole bunch of actions to make that desired outcome, what I'll do is I'll use action as a way for me to experience my desired outcome internally right here and now, in the here and now, right? So for me, that includes dancing, singing, watching funny movies, listening to music, doing things that make me feel good, and you have to determine what those things are for you. But I suggest that you use action as a vibrational aid to help you get back into resonance with what you desire, okay? So we as humans love taking action, and rightfully so, right? It's what we came to experience and get our hands dirty with on the playground of Earth. But the catch is to try and use action as a vibrational aid and tool, right? Like I just said, rather than as a main course of action or a main course of things to do when it comes to experiencing what you desire. Okay, like I said before, anytime you're in a vibe of trying to make something happen, you're already splitting your vibe. You're already creating a dissonance between what you want to experience and it actually manifesting. Okay, so therefore, the last piece I'd like to mention is a thought about inspired action, right? This is the piece I want to talk about, inspired action. So, inspired action is simply nudges from your soul to help you get into greater alignment with what you desire. Nothing more, right? So for me, this this piece gave me so much clarity and so much freedom, right? Because most of the time, like, we always think that, okay, I'm gonna do these steps. Step one, we think in a logical, linear way, that we think that things that happen in our experience is happening in a linear way, right? But actually, the way the universe works is that it doesn't work linearly at all. Like, our minds can only think of 1, 2, 3, 4 steps A through Z, right? But the universe has like alphabets that we haven't even thought of, right? Like, the way the universe actually works into bringing us, aligning, bringing a vibrational reality into our experience is beyond what our minds can even happen. So when I think of experiencing inspired action, because a lot of times the reason why this is so important, because I can share with you, a lot of times we don't act on our inspired action. And this is the key that trips us up, because inspired action is there to help you get into greater alignment with what you desire. So let's say you desire to go on a trip, or you desire to buy a house, right? And you're looking at your bank account and you're like, I don't have the money to go on this trip, or I don't have the money to buy a house. Like, well, how is that going to happen? This is not going to happen, right? So you're buying into the lack-based mentality, like we mostly do, right? But then let's say by some chance you're just feeling good. You have this inspired action to call up a girlfriend that you haven't spoke to in over 2 years and reconnect, right? Now, what our minds, because we've been so trained and conditioned in lack and scarcity based mentality, it'll do is it will say, well, what does that have to do with me getting a house? Or what does that have to do with me going on my trip that I want to go on, right? And so we'll dismiss that inspired action, right? But not realizing that that inspired action is leading you down a path of greater alignment with what you desire. What if you called your friend and she just happened to be like, oh my God, girl, I was just thinking about you. And I was thinking that we should take a trip together. I just won 2 tickets and I was like, yeah, I want you to be my plus one, right? Or let's say that you called her and it led you down the path of one step closer to getting the house, right? Or it could have nothing to do with actually your in a linear way of thinking that it's the next step to you receiving what you desire. It could be like you just have a great feeling. You guys end up hanging out or whatever. And then from you hanging out, it led to you feeling good, and from their feeling good being more in resonance with what you desire, and from there something else happens. And so it happens in so many different ways. Like the universe doesn't work linearly like that, right? It doesn't work like how our minds, how we're taught in school, that A plus B equals C, 1 plus 2 equals 3. Like, it doesn't work that way. So the universe doesn't work that way. It works in, like, beyond what our minds can even think about, as far as us experiencing what we desire, as far as it bringing to us in however way it's going to bring to us. The how is not our issue, okay? The how is not our responsibility. And I want you to understand that inspired action is simply nudges from your soul to help you get into greater alignment with what you desire. So inspired action, or action in general, is not what brings about what you desire. Your internal resonance with that vibrational reality does, like I talked about. And I'm just going to beat this over your head, beat this and say it over and over and over, because I know that it's a different thing from knowing something intellectually to actually experiencing it and actually knowing it, living it and being it. So as I said before, action in any form is simply here for the enjoyment of it, or to be used as a tool to help you better align with your desired and preferred reality or outcomes. Okay? So that's it, Mosaic Soul. That is the it. There you have it. That's how the universe actually works. I hope that this video has brought you so much more clarity. And every time I do any of these videos, and I had, this training just came like rolling out of me this morning, and I just had to share it with you. But if you have any questions, feel free to send me via the form that I sent you in the email. I'd be happy to respond as I get them in a Q&A video as I receive them, and respond to you. But yeah, that's it. Basically, that's how the universe works. Inspired action, or action, that's the form, or that's the role that action plays in your life. It's simply here to make us feel good, really. Like, that's the only reason to take action. It's to take action to help you feel good, right? Because when you understand that you're a vibrational being living in a vibrational universe, you understand how you create. You create through your inner world, through your vibrations, how you're feeling, what you're thinking about, how you feel moment to moment, what you're expecting, what you're focusing on. That is how you create. So I hope this has been helpful, and I look forward to hearing your comments or questions. So have a beautiful, beautiful, and wonderful day. Peace, love, and light.